The movie opens in New York City, where John Wick and his pit bull are taking shelter with the Bowery King. John is relentlessly punching a board until his knuckles bleed, and Bowery King enters to ask if he's prepared to confront the high table. John simply replies, "Yeah." He then travels to Morocco, where he pursues men working for the Elder on horseback. After eliminating those men, John faces the Elder to demand his ring, but is informed that the ring is no longer available. John then executes the Elder before leaving. Back in New York, Winston and Sharon are called by the Harbinger to meet with the Marquis de Graymont, who has been sent by the High Table. They have discovered the Elder's execution, and the Marquis chastises Winston for not killing John. Consequently, the Marquis orders the New York Continental to be condemned and destroyed. Winston is declared excommunicado, and to add insult to injury, the Marquis shoots Sharon in the chest. Winston remains by his friend's side as he passes away, lamenting that it should have been him. Meanwhile in Paris, a blind assassin named Cain stands in a park while his daughter Mia plays the violin. The Marquis summons Cain to hunt down John. Cain insists he is retired, but the Marquis threatens Mia's life if Cain disobeys the orders from the High Table. John makes his way to the Osaka Continental, overseen by his longtime friend Shimizu Koji, where his daughter Akira serves as the concierge. Koji meets John on the rooftop, agreeing to provide him with secret refuge, although Akira is skeptical about John's presence. Shortly after, Chitty, the right-hand man of the Marquis, arrives with his hit squad, attempting to draw John out. Koji's men quickly arrive and confront the High Table assassins, launching arrows into the darkness. When the hitmen reach the roof, John seizes his gun and prepares to showcase his skills. While Koji's guards manage to fend off most of the High Table assassins, Cain appears and starts his own killing spree, setting traps to detect the movements of his targets before using his sword and gun to eliminate them. Meanwhile, Akira joins the fray and takes out several of Chitty's men, but she is ultimately shot and injured. John assists her and Koji in escaping while he continues to battle more adversaries, even dispatching several with a pair of nunchucks. He encounters Cain, both recognizing each other as former allies, which makes Cain hesitant to pursue John, but he ultimately does so for Mia's sake. The two engage in a brief fight before John manages to escape. Amidst the chaos of gunfire, a tracker known as Mr. Nobody and his German Shepherd are lurking nearby, taking out some of the gunmen targeting John. He also desires the contract on John's life, but he argues that the current bounty of $20 million is insufficient, so he is aiding John for the time being. As Koji and Akira flee, they come across Cain. He is an old friend of Koji's, but Koji refuses to let Cain pursue John, leading to a sword fight between them. Just when it seems Koji might escape, he continues to battle until Cain lands a fatal strike. Akira cradles her father's body as he passes away and tries to seize his sword to take revenge on Cain. However, Cain advises her against it, warning her not to meet the same end as her father, and assures her that they will meet again. Akira heads to the train station where she confronts John, holding him responsible for her father's demise. She demands that he kill Cain, or she will take matters into her own hands. Meanwhile, Winston has a meeting with Bowery King, both aware that their closeness to John makes them targets. In another scene, the Harbinger speaks with the Marquis about the needless bloodshed at the Osaka Continental, but the Marquis insists that it is essential to not only eliminate John Wick but also to obliterate the notion of him being an invincible figure. Shortly after, Mr. Nobody arrives, requesting a $23 million bounty for John's assassination. The Marquis responds by stabbing his hand and compelling Mr. Nobody to choose between removing the knife or pulling his hand away to reveal his true intentions. Mr. Nobody opts to pull his hand out, slicing between his fingers, and the Marquis consents to fulfill his request. John later meets Winston at Karen's tomb, expressing his sorrow for the loss of his friend. Winston seeks revenge against the Marquis and informs John that to gain his freedom from the High Table, he must challenge the Marquis to a duel, despite the belief that such duels are mere legends. The only support John can rely on is his family, but the Rusk Aroma have severed their connection with him. With no other options available, John resolves to find them. John makes his way to the Rusk Aroma in Berlin, where he is unexpectedly welcomed with a shotgun blast from the priest before being bound with a noose around his neck. His adoptive sister Katya confronts him, furious over John's actions that led to the elder's death, which in turn prompted the Marquis to order the execution of her father Piotr, who would have supported John in the duel. In an attempt to make amends, John offers his assistance to Katya, who instructs him to track down a German high table member named Killa, the man responsible for her father's death. John heads to Killa's nightclub, where Kane and Mr. Nobody have also arrived after following John. The trio engages in a card game with Killa, who cheats before sending his men to attack the three assassins. While Kane and Nobody manage to fend off the thugs with the help of Nobody's dog, John pursues Killa through the club, navigating around oblivious partygoers. John uses a card to slice Killa's neck and confronts him, but Killa leverages his strength and size against John. Killa's men pursue John, meeting gruesome fates along the way. Killa pushes John over a balcony, but this does not deter him. Ultimately, John corners Killa and sends him tumbling down a staircase, resulting in a fatal headfirst impact with the ground. John retrieves one of Killa's gold teeth as evidence of his demise and presents it to Katya, who reacts positively and assists John in undergoing the ceremony where he is branded with the family crest and receives support for the duel. Winston approaches the Marquis with the official challenge document from John regarding the duel. Despite the Marquis's attempts to decline, Winston reminds him of his obligations to the High Table and its traditions, compelling him to comply. Furthermore, Winston insists that if John emerges victorious, he will no longer be excommunicado, and his Continental will be restored to its former glory, with his management reinstated. However, the Marquis warns Winston that he will serve as John's second, meaning that if John falls, so will he. John arrives to meet the Marquis while the Harbinger oversees their discussion regarding the duel's terms. They are set to face off at the Sacré-Cœur in Paris at dawn, armed with guns. Should either fail to appear by the appointed time, it will result in an automatic loss and grounds for execution. Kane will serve as the Marquis's second, and he consents to let him and his daughter go free if he can eliminate John. John visits a church to pay his respects to Helen. There, Kane approaches him amicably, sharing details about Mia and what he stands to lose. Later, John meets with Winston and Bowery King, who provides him with a new firearm and a bulletproof suit. The Harbinger cautions the Marquis about the consequences within the High Table if John were to kill him. To ensure John doesn't reach the Sacré-Cœur on time, the Marquis sends Chitty and his gang to pursue him. Meanwhile, a radio DJ informs other assassins listening in that a bounty has been placed on John for anyone who can take him out before dawn. As John makes his way to the Sacré-Cœur, he is pursued by numerous assassins. He confronts gunmen in the streets, even navigating through traffic around the Arc de Triomphe, shooting at the attackers or allowing them to be struck by vehicles. The High Table monitors his movements, prompting even more assassins to chase him. John enters a warehouse filled with enemies and unleashes explosive rounds upon them. Simultaneously, Nobody assists in eliminating some of the assassins and contacts the Marquis, demanding a higher fee. Ultimately, the Marquis agrees to a $40 million contract, enticing more desperate and doomed hitmen. John finally reaches the steps that lead to the Sacré-Cœur, taking down several more assassins before Chitty appears and sends him tumbling back down the stairs. Kane arrives to assist John in reaching the top, helping him eliminate Chitty's men. Nobody also shows up, confronting Chitty for throwing his dog into traffic, but thankfully the dog is fine. With John's support, Chitty is defeated, and Nobody finishes him off with a bullet to the head. John arrives just moments before dawn. He and Kane draw their pistols for a classic duel. Both manage to hit each other twice. In the third round, Kane shoots John in the stomach, but John refrains from firing back. The Marquis then demands the coup de grace, wanting to be the one to end John Wick's life. He takes aim at John, but Winston interrupts, calling him an arrogant fool and reminding him that John didn't shoot in the last round. The Marquis realizes his mistake too late as John takes him out with a shot to the head. The Harbinger then announces that both John and Cain are released from their duties to the high table. John descends the steps and briefly reflects on Helen, whispering her name before he collapses. John Wick passes away a free man. Winston and Bowery King lay John to rest beside Helen, with his gravestone inscribed with "Loving Husband," just as he wished. Bowery King asks Winston if he believes John is in heaven or hell, to which Winston responds, "Who knows?" The two walk away, with Bowery King continuing to care for John's dog. After the credits, Cain seeks out Mia and they reunite. Nearby, Akira approaches him, ready to take her revenge.